Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, October 31st, Halloween Day for all who celebrate Halloween, which is an interesting question, I suppose. I suppose there really isn't anybody who fervently, religiously wants to celebrate Halloween. There are just people who kind of fervently and quite literally religiously don't want to celebrate Halloween. Like, it really wouldn't be much of a racing people's culture if Halloween was canceled around the world, except for goth culture, the small subgenre of gothic people, and I don't know who else in pagan culture. I suppose pagans would be upset, but that'd be about it. There aren't too many actual practicing pagans out there. Anyways, starting a little bit early, I did another couple episodes of the end of the year catch up, so I am now at, I believe, P. So I think I did games that start with the letter O on my wish list and clean that up. Next would be P. So yeah, we're in a pretty good position there. I probably need to do some scheduling after today's stream, and I woke up and my insomnia is still kind of weird, so I feel like if I didn't start right about now, I might not finish everything. Ideally, I want to get all 3 of these daily quests done, and I don't want to really re-roll anything right now. So we've got tavern brawls to do, daily quests to do, and then I'm probably gonna maybe do some scheduling, but probably just take a nap, fall asleep, and call it a day. I don't know how many people actually hand out candy either. Like, most kids don't go door to door anymore. They go to parties, and that's a lot smarter. Frankly, it's just safer. Kids are like 4 times likely to be hit by cars today than any other day. I guess we're just gonna play. And I guess I get to pick who I'm gonna play as, so let's come over here. Hunter or Mage. Let's go with Hunter. Hunter tends to be my first choice for its special ability of doing 2 damage. I forgot to actually look at my Twitter feed, so at some point at the end of the stream there will be some games that there will be some time in which I'm gonna have to scroll down. Alright. It says build your team as you play, good luck. I would have thought that maybe there would have been a more Halloween tavern brawl today, but I guess not. So we play this 1/1 chicken. This sure feels like we're supposed to keep this one character alive. Oh man, why did it all change to chickens? Yeah, this is gonna take some getting used to and learning. Okay, first bit of news we have. Let's just try to go through all of this, and maybe I'll go into some post-show. I imagine not too many people are going to be watching today, if I'm going to be honest. Like, it would totally make sense that that because of Halloween people would just be busy. But I doubt Friday will be much better. This doesn't make sense. It switched all the way back. So it's like we're swapping our deck hands every 2 moves? Or are we doing something different? Oh no, this is a weird Tavern Brawl. GameIndustry.biz has an article. EA details a new cloud-native development platform, Project Atlas. The unified platform aims to seamlessly converge artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and the Frostbite engine. I don't think any game developers use the Frostbite engine besides EA. So this is a thing, certainly, that developers of video games have been trying to do. They definitely have wanted to basically eliminate cost of development of games by having a consistent platform in which everything is developed on. This tends to also cause some bugs if you think about like the Assassin's Creed series of games. Those were also on a consistent engine. And inherently, an internal engine saves you the cost of licensing an engine like Unreal Unity at the expense of having to program an engine that runs very well. For instance, again, the TT Games, the Lego Games developer have their own internal engine, I'm sure, but that doesn't mean that the games run well on PC. Let's see, so I'm gonna play this, attack that, do this, and then return. So it seems like cards I'm picking are getting added into a pack of cards, and then from that pack of cards I'm getting random selections of cards. Let's see, I don't know if there really is anything else to say about Project Atlas though. There's been lots of attempts and thoughts of this, certainly. There we go. Play that, which should give me that. I'm gonna play this.
That minion a turn to get ready.
Let's see, we want to take out some dangerous people. Would be, I guess, my guess. Attack here, attack there. And kind of doesn't matter, so I think I can just throw coins to do that. Interesting. I think that'll work just fine, because I think you always end up with 4 cards regardless. GameIndustry has a second article, turning a documentary into a video game. The team behind Never Alone discussed the upcoming Blue Planet tie-in with BBC. That might be an interesting article to read. I'm noticing GameIndustry.biz is getting, maybe I'm just getting more familiar with it, but it is getting slightly away from just the state the facts style of coverage that I thought they were doing, into more, let's do interviews, let's do articles. There's one sponsored article in particular that I'm going to mention, I think, later today. +1 health, and this, and this. Do that. GameIndustry.biz has another third article. I think I have like 5 GameIndustry.biz articles in a row for some reason. Red Dead Redemption 2 makes $725 million in 3 days, the second biggest entertainment launch in history behind GTA 5. So, if there's anything I think all game developers developers should learn from Rockstar. It is the release schedule element. They literally don't have to make much of a hype train. Like, there's not really any much Red Dead Redemption advertisement getting paid for. Most of it is being given completely for free, and on top of that, they are managing to complete their games on a much more reasonable schedule than what other developers of games have to live by. Like, if we looked and saw like when GTA 5 came out, I would imagine it was maybe 2014, maybe 2012. GTA 5's been out for a while. Let's see if maybe this article. Let's see, we probably could just Google this and see if we can Wikipedia when it came out. I know they've been doing GTA Online. Yeah, GTA 5 came out September 17th, 2013. So, in between the release of GTA 5, Rockstar has really not done anything, which is quite amazing for as big of a company as it is, and how many offices it has. Maybe it did a lot of layoffs, and the offices, while there may be many of them, aren't that well man-powered. So, and they did the GTA Online element, certainly, but that's, I mean, it really goes to show you don't have to crunch, you don't have to race, you don't have to have a game come out every single year. If you put polish into it and over-deliver on the quality of the game, you can be like Rockstar, one of the best game developers, or at least best game sellers out there. And in all honesty, I think if you looked a little objectively, an argument could be made that a lot of the GTA games in particular aren't that great. They just have good writing. The actual gameplay mechanic hasn't been massively changed. Let's see, all 5 of those cards go straight to the dustbin, but we are back up to 400 dust, which is nice. And then that just leaves me with winning a couple of hunter or mage decks, and then defeating monster hunt battles, which is I did some of that off screen too, and on the European account. GameIndustry.biz has another article. Minecraft reaches 150 million downloads in China. The free-to-play Chinese version gained 50 million players in 5 months. I guess perhaps the Chinese freeze of any new games may have certainly helped that, but Minecraft was always going to be super popular. It was super popular everywhere else. It's kind of surprising that it's just now that Minecraft is being allowed into China. Minecraft is several years old. Although they are putting out a new they put out a new snapshot that's interesting, and it looks like the next update in particular is going to be particularly interesting as a course correction of an issue that Minecraft has started to have, where things like making banners in particular were just too complicated, and so they've expanded the basic idea of Minecraft, where you craft a crafting table and then you craft everything in that crafting table. They've now expanded, they're now working on expanding it so that there are several different sub crafting tables that will make it easier and just more efficient to craft certain things. I don't think they're gonna remove anything though, so if you still want to make a banner in a standard crafting table, I think that'll work just fine. But you may also you can also go to the loom, and the loom will just show you a preview of what your banner will look like and build it for you for the same amount of resources. It's basically a efficiency mod being added to Minecraft, which is cool certainly, but you also have to, once you get around that and you get that working, you need to start thinking about what are we really going to do to add any more content to this game, because that's also a big issue. Like right now Minecraft is missing content and could use some new updates and some new content. Although I'm not 100% sure what you do. Do you do more biomes? Do you do more creatures? They did recently add new creatures in the latest update, so do you really need more creatures? Because think about the Haunted Mansion and the Butler characters. That was an addition that really went nowhere. And it's in newer versions of Minecraft, but I've yet to see anybody do anything with it. I've been kind of into watching Stone Block, which is a new modded Minecraft mod, which is, it's basically Skyblock yet again, but this time you're underground and you can't get to the surface because it's all covered in lava. But it really is kind of just the same thing over and over again, even for the mods. I want to play this. There we go. Moving on, we have a Gamma Sutra article. Twitch teams up with Harmonix to develop a streaming karaoke game. So Harmonix is the Rock Band developer. This is kind of a crazy idea because the only thing I could imagine is that if this streaming karaoke game works the way I'm assuming it's gonna work, basically there will be a official Twitch stream that is always playing like karaoke music videos that have been licensed by Twitch for worldwide broadcast, basically, and then people can watch that Twitch stream and sing along, and maybe the app will recognize if you're singing well with the singing game. Like, theoretically, you don't even need Harmonix to be involved at all. You could just stream a channel and call it the karaoke channel and get the licenses that way. I imagine Harmonix has a lot of these licenses already, though. And so they might be useful partners regardless.
Whoops.
Let's see. 2 damage into the ones next to it. And 4 damage there. And that. And that. And that. And that.
Job's done.
And return. I guess maybe the idea would be that there's a way that people could play this karaoke game and then stream it on Twitch and have different songs. So, or maybe people just have to play the same songs at the same time. That'd probably suck as an idea. But you could see it go either way, honestly. Yeah, I could see streamers being told that they have to rebroadcast the Twitch stream, and then they can just put their own camera footage on top of it and sing along, and put their own audio on top of it. Or I could see it be a separate application that in the background is just pulling a Twitch stream that's playing the karaoke videos, and from that application then you stream. I don't know how much of that would actually like how much of that really accomplishes anything though, or how many people would be super into that idea.
Job's done.
Like, I doubt it's gonna be a super amazing new source of entertainment. I doubt a lot of people are gonna want to watch other people singing karaoke. I haven't particularly noticed a lot of Twitch streamers that have really good voices and can sing anyways. And in a weird way, I think streamers really can't even hum a few tunes to a song without fear of some copyright claim. So it would be majorly risky to even attempt to go down the realm of playing a karaoke game. That certainly has been a concern for any kind of music game that I've seen on my wish list. Also, I have no rhythm, so playing music games of any kind is unlikely to happen on my channel. Although there is one, I believe, called Melodies Escape where you use your own music, so I could theoretically play the game with some licensed open source, like free use to all songs, but that's gonna be a pretty limited collection at that point. Let's see. We got this and this. And this. This. That. Excuse me. So we've got a game on Steam called The Blackout Club. I already know about this game, so I know I'm going to put it on the wish list. I believe it's the game I'm thinking about. It's kind of a hide and go seek, but you'll get caught if you're using the flashlight on the phone too much. And like the parents are all creepy and weird, so they've potentially been
Are you afraid?
taken over by ghosts or aliens or something. So you use the flashlight app and you're using the phone app to catch evidence, and that's pretty much what I already know.
Are you afraid?
So yeah, this will go on the wish list. It looks actually rather good looking. Let's see, let's play this, and end the turn. Guess I could have played one more spell card. Gamma Sutra has a article called the rising need for game economy designers in freemium mobile games. This is from a blog post from the senior director of envelope design at Candy Crush developer king, Pietro Gardasion.
You're shivering. Are you afraid?
Let's just go and squelch this. So that might be an interesting article, but it sounds like a really sleazy article. And if you ever want to think about sleazy, Candy Crush is the sleaziest of the sleazy of companies, as far as actually programming Candy Crush to cheat you so that you have to buy continuations. And I can testify to that directly because I hacked the game, had infinite number of continues, and I still couldn't get to the end of the game. Infinite number of all the little power-ups and such. And other people have done decompilers of it and shown that, yeah, as soon as you buy something, it just gets harder to sucker you into buying more things, and if you don't buy something, you still can't win. So it's literally not playing fair. And inherently, this is the reason why people don't like microtransactions in any kind of game, is because those games cheat. They are literally incentivized and designed to make you pay money to try and win. And people are dumb enough, mentally are susceptible enough to fall for it. Moving on, we have an article from GameIndustry.biz introducing the games industry's latest gender diversity initiative, G into Gaming. This is a sponsored article, a new campaign designed to accelerate gender diversity in the games has arrived. How does it differ and what does it want to achieve? I really don't want to read any more of this article already. I'll say it again. There's about 30% of the women who graduate from college with programming degrees. Thus, people who are qualified to work as video game programmers. About 30% of them are female. About 30% of the programmers that are hired are female. There's no magical way, in the short run at least, to create not diversity, which is the wrong word, but equity, which is what they really want, where they want at least 50% of all the people who are programmers, developers of video games, to be female. The only way you can even pretend to try to achieve this is you hire underqualified people, or you fill in positions at video game companies that aren't actually around developing things. You have a overflowing HR department that is 100% female, or you have an overflowing well, I don't want to say secretary department, but that's really all you can do. And inherently, the best way to get more women to want and be qualified to be in video games development would be to treat all game developers better. Don't force them into crunch, don't force them into overtime, don't remove their names from credits, don't pay them relatively low amounts, give them all paternity and maternity leave, generous amounts of leave, and healthcare and things like that. And then the other thing you could do, which is the longer term, is you can fund scholarships. But at a certain point, we're not anywhere close to that point. However, at a certain point, if you are giving out so many scholarships that every female out there has taken, every female that wanted the scholarship has taken the scholarship, then you can't really do anything more than that. Like, and at some point you have to wonder that just the average general female's brain might be different than the average general male's brain, and males may be just in average, there are always exceptions, more prone towards video game programming in general. Now, if this latest initiative, which was anything other than, I imagine, just a waste of time and a dumb charity, inherently I assume that their first act was to spend a lot of money to buy a sponsored post on GameIndustry.biz instead of letting GameIndustry.biz and the other news journalists just report on the news, which they would have most certainly reported on the news just anyways. If the idea here was to get more females into playing video games, that's not even really an issue. Like, as many females are playing video games as males. Pretty much everybody's playing video games. That's gonna be my rant without actually reading this article, because I really don't care any further. And yeah, if people really did care about increasing the diversity in their workforce more, if they formed a union, then a union, if that really was the workers' concern, would represent, hopefully if the union was good, they would represent that concern and say, we want to ensure that everyone is getting a fair option, a fair chance to be hired, or they'd say we want more diversity initiatives. It'd be a lot better to form unions in the video game industry and solve a lot of problems instead of just this one perceived problem, which I don't think really exists that much. And do it that way. Moving on, Gamasutra has an article. Sony sold nearly 4 million PS4s in the last 3 months, which sounds like a lot, definitely. I'm a little surprised that the PS4s are still selling, but I guess that's cool, I suppose. Like, PlayStation 4 is reaching its end of life, so I wouldn't be surprised by this time next E3 they're announcing a PlayStation 5. Although that being said, Sony PlayStation now being run out of California, I have no idea what they're doing or thinking at that point. Like, it could be that they're well into development for the next PlayStation, or it could be that they've managed to screw basically everything up and they're nowhere close to the release of the next PlayStation. Let's see. And if Sony's headquarters now in California doesn't stop treating the Japanese developers well, I mean poorly, they're treating them poorly right now. If they don't start making the third-party publishers happier, there very possibly won't be any lineup to as far as games for the PlayStation 5, or at least a very limited lineup. Let's see. I guess the reports came in for everybody. Gamma Sutra has another article. Switch sales remain steady as Nintendo reports bumps in profits. Which Nintendo probably always report bumps in profits.
Your soul shall be mine.
Let's see.
You asked for it.
Is there any real data here? Let's see. Nothing really worth mentioning. It's all too inside baseball. Let's trade out a lot of these. Let's see. Gamma Sutra has an article. Income from player recurring investments rises to $297 million for Ubisoft. So Ubisoft is still making a ton of money from microtransactions and DLC. I guess recurring investment may only be microtransactions. It may not even include DLC. So Ubisoft is also making tons of money, which is kind of funny because then, like, the general stock markets, which I've always felt in the United States that the general stock markets, the NASDAQ and the Dow were way overinflated, and I still feel like they are. But they're starting to slow down and they're starting to cool off and like and top out. And of course, politics is certainly not helping a lot of that, but I think that inherently it comes down to there is a lot of fake money that is on paper in the US stock markets, and sometimes that fake money just has to evaporate completely to correct towards the actual closer to being the real world amount of currency. So I wouldn't be surprised that by the end of this year, start of next year, if we start to see video game companies and companies in general reporting less profit. Let's see. Well, that worked. We have a game on Steam called Save Me Mr. Takasuki Tako-san. It looks like it's a Game Boy style game, Tako being the Japanese word for octopus, although this is from Nicholas, which is the developer of, I believe, Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac, or at least one of those two. So this isn't really like a Game Boy game. This is somebody has made a Game Boy game in widescreen and you play as a octopus. This might be the first Game Boy looking game that I would have on my wish list that I'm like willing to play. I still feel like the Game Boy aesthetic is a factor of a limitation of the Game Boy and not really an art style that you should be super interested in playing. Let's see, it's 33% off right now for $10.04. Let's see, OpenCritic gives it a 73. Let's see. Yeah, Nicholas is Binding of Isaac and Cave Story publisher. So totally save me. What was it? Save me, Mr. Tako, Takasuke Tako-san. Yeah, that game will definitely go on my. I guess maybe I put it on the fall list, and I need to be a little bit more careful of putting games on the wish list for no reason. So I guess both of these are going to the follow list. I'm gonna have to train myself to say the right thing now, because everything's going to the follow list. It's not going to a wish list. Unless it's just a really, really good game I know I'm gonna play. But there really shouldn't be many of those games. And I was certainly thinking about it, and if I ever found enough funding to run this channel the way it probably should be run, in the sense that I would play games as they're brand new, the use of the wish list and the follow list kind of goes out the window at that point. I would be playing like The Return of Obra Dinn right now instead of Hearthstone, and I'd be playing whatever new game came out every single day. I want to kind of complain about Dodger from the co-optional podcasts and her Twitch streams, because she started playing the Return of Obra Dinn. She got relatively close to the end, and then she just kind of quit playing it, and now it's been like a week. So unless she streamed it in some other way, she just kind of ended the game and then finished it, and that's super frustrating. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the European account, and let's start with the Tavern Brawl on the European account. This might be a 1 episode day again, and there's no real problem with me making a single 2-hour episode instead of several 1-hour episodes. Although we have a ton of games to talk about. On the other hand, though, since it is Halloween, maybe I'll just do the minimum today, and we'll come back on Friday and cover some more of the games. Let's see. This was a pack I got from doing the challenge Monster Hunt quest. I don't believe any of these cards are new, so we'll come in here and do this twice. Yeah, 5 cards turned into dust. I'm almost up to 1600 dust. That'll be slightly useful. What was our daily quest on this one? Priest or Warlock. Let's go with Warlock. This might work interestingly. So we have a game on Steam called Design Hero, which looks like a visual novel, and kind of a weird one at that. Seems like you're being a fashion designer. Never heard of this developer, and it's not tagged as a visual novel. $7.64. It's like a photography mini game in it. Is it like Guitar Hero? Is that the idea? They're making a game like Guitar Hero? I really don't have a lot of faith in this game that it's doing anything that they're claiming it's doing. Alright, so I want to play this, and then this, and then in turn. So let's see what this developer's made otherwise. Nothing. I guess I don't have to be super super skeptical of games, so I can just put it on the follow list and we'll see what happens in a year. It says it has 5 hours of gameplay, multiple endings. So yeah, just leave it on the follow list and come back later. It'd be nice by the time 2019 rolls around, though, and I'm doing the Steam wishlist or Steam follow list 2019 cleanup, it would be nice if I didn't run into a super long list that takes hours and hours and hours, because it is a ridiculous amount of time I'm spending right now during the wishlist cleanup. It's stuff I needed to do that I've let sit, and that's part of the problem, is that now it's become a much bigger mess than it would have been if I was just better curating the files. So yeah, I'm spending like 3 hours on average for every letter of the alphabet, so 3 times 26, actually 27. You're talking 75 hours plus to cover the Steam wishlist. And in the meantime, while I'm doing all of this, I'm not playing a game or making any content. So I totally would get the idea that somebody watches the wishlist cleanup in December and says, why aren't you just playing a game instead? I came to your channel to watch you cover and play video games. I didn't come to watch you shop. But then on the other hand, I'm hoping that maybe this will be the type of experience where let's see, transform into a 3/3 copy of minion. Is there a minion I really want to transform into right now?
Many possibilities.
And I could transform into a 3/3 copy of that. Next we have a game on Steam called Pirate Survival Fantasy Shooter. It's an early access game. I don't think we need to keep this one on the follow list, honestly. 2018 was supposed to be the year of the pirate, and it really was the year of the failed pirate. I'm not seeing anything in these screenshots. This looks like it's a VR game too. Yeah, I kind of might get the idea of making a VR game where you can play as a pirate, but in all seriousness, this can just fall by the wayside. Let's see. 2 damage. This and this and this.
Job's done.
Gamma Sutra has an article. It says it's a blog, how to make a roguelike. This is from... It's a video article, basically. And it's talking about making an old school roguelike, as in something made with ASCII text. And it's talking about programming, so this might be interesting, but only if you're into programming games. And I don't think the general public would want to read all of this. Oh, I keep meaning to mention that I tested out YouTube Premieres. I did a video that was a day late for the Steam Halloween sale, which is going on right now. Now would be a great time for people to gift me games via the Steam sale, save everybody some money as a way of supporting my channel. So I made a video covering that, just kind of comparing what the wishlist in its current form, as it's halfway clean, cleaned up where that... No, what am I trying to say here? Yeah, I was just looking at games that were on sale that were also on my wish list, and browsing and just doing some window shopping. In all truth, the Halloween sale is not very impressive. There are some games that are pretty cheap, and there are some games that are hitting like the 49-cent threshold, so it's highly unlikely they'd ever get lower than that. But yeah, no big surprise there. I think the Thanksgiving sale will be much bigger. But then there is also this chance, just because Steam, like YouTube is, I've been out of the partner program, or I've been unmonetized because I have less than 1,000 subscribers for a year now, so this entire channel has not made any money since then. I have some thoughts on that. I think I probably will make some kind of text scroll for patrons. So if anybody follows me on Patreon, I think they will either get some kind of static thank you on the screen when we're streaming Hearthstone, and that will just be there for the entirety of however long they are patron. And that very well may be just like one person's name for a long time. But that is something I can do to show appreciation, and it's not hard. But I still don't want to promise that. It'd be nice if 3 or 4 people all supported my Patreon, even if it was just $1 a month at the same time compared to just one person. But yeah, I keep trying to talk about the premiere part of premiering that video. It failed miserably. So you go to YouTube when you're uploading a video. There's the upload page. You drag a video into this page and it starts uploading. I put in all the information I wanted to say, where I wanted to tweet out to Google Plus and Twitter, what it should say in the description, its tags, its title, all of that. Don't have a thumbnail or any to upload because I don't have an artist, otherwise I would do that there too. You can't put an end screen on these things, but that's kind of the only real issue at that point. There's a new checkbox that says premiere it. So I say, okay, all the data is here. I want this to go out as soon as possible. Let's premiere it. I click the checkbox and I click we're done, let's say publish it as soon as possible. So it tries to do that and it fails miserably in the first effort because the premiere part of the game of YouTube is too stupid to realize that the video hasn't been processed yet. So it's trying to premiere the video just because it's been uploaded instead of waiting until it's been processed and could actually be premiered. So I try to watch the premiere and check it out at the first time. It gives me, it says it's going to premiere it at, I believe it was 8:10 in the morning. The video was uploaded at 8:10 and it said the premiere was going to start like at 8:10 when it was like 8:12. So the time had already come and gone. That was ridiculous. And in several ways it showed up and kind of disappeared and showed up again on my subscription feed, so it's not that good. Inherently, when it was saying it was going to premiere and clicking it on my Android YouTube app brought up either a black screen or nothing, or it really wasn't bringing up the live chat that was supposed to be there, where people were supposed to live chat about their excitement for the video. So the whole thing is just like totally broken. And then there's the basic thing. It's like, yeah, it floods people's subscriptions. Particularly my channel could just go crazy with flooding people's subscriptions with premieres. I schedule things a month in advance. Does anybody really want what would probably be over 90 premieres in their subscription feed? No, I certainly wouldn't. I knew premieres was gonna be bad, but it was really bad. Finally, after realizing it wasn't gonna work, I went back and changed the setting and said premiere it at a future date in like the next 10 minutes. And once I got to that, it sort of kind of worked. And then I was the thing that they were pushing with premieres is that the content creator, i.e. me, was supposed to be in the live chat interacting with the fans. Of course, I don't have enough fans that were actually get into the chat and comment most of the time, so I'm on the chat basically talking to myself, and I'm watching video of footage that I literally just recorded, and I stayed with it for maybe 10-20 minutes, and then I got tired and went to sleep basically. Also, because the video had only processed somewhat, the highest resolution you could see it when it premiered was at 360p, which is pathetically low. And it made that specific video kind of impossible to enjoy because there's text on the screen from Steam's store, and if that text on the screen is not being displayed at a high enough resolution, you can't really figure out what you're looking at. So that's another problem. So yeah, I won't be doing premieres. I don't think anybody's going to be doing premieres. It seems like everybody hates premieres, and there's a good reason for it. Meanwhile, I think YouTube, either this was a failed project they just wanted to roll out, because that's YouTube's new thing, is that projects fail and they pretend like they're a success. YouTube Gaming is a great example. It's like, oh yeah, we're getting rid of the separate YouTube Gaming site and we're graduating it into the regular YouTube, which is basically just a manipulative way to say it failed as a separate website. So I guess they're kind of rolling it out, but I almost wonder if it's kind of like a booby trap for new developers to just, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll irritate all of your viewers away. Yep. I don't think, unless I get somebody telling me in the comments that premieres, they really love premieres. If for some reason my audience really loves them, where it seems like everybody else has made it clear they don't. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever do that again. Let's see, whenever you draw a minion, summon a 1/1 copy of it.
This one turned out nicely.
Seriously? Moving on, TechRaptor has an article, Return of the Obra Dinn review. I just wanted to read this quickly to say, see what the score they give it is. I tweeted out the developer of the Return of Obra Dinn, and he tweeted me back. I said it would be cool if the names that you have to guess from were randomized in each gameplay, so it had some more replay value and could be speedrun. And he said he watches a lot of people that speedrun other games, but nobody ever speedruns his for some reason. Which was nice of him to respond. I just hearted it. I didn't want to go into a further deep conversation with him. I probably could have used that as a jumping board to say, hey, there's several things I could imagine that would help people speedrun Oberdin or Papers, Please. Things like an in-game clock, some randomization, more, well, less randomness in Papers, Please is probably a somewhat good factor, but that you really don't have to change the randomness for speedruns. The ability to skip some of the cutscenes would definitely be helpful in Oberdin if you're speedrunning, because the first time you see a cutscene, it does really require you to spend a lot of time there in that cutscene before you can move forward.
Job's done.
Anyways, TechRaptor gave Oberdin a 10.0.0, so a perfect score, which is something. The only con they say is hard to retain the final momentum. There is a certain level, I think, later on in Oberdin where you might have to just start guessing things out, and if you want to be stubborn and say, no, I actually need to see some evidence before I put any answer down, you're probably going to miss bits of evidence. Also, the game is quite nefarious in a way I don't think a lot of people realize. Is Oberdin is a game designed to make you be a little racist. And hear me out on this. You're given a passenger log of people who are the crew of this ship, Oberdin. And this crew is amazingly diverse for the time period. So it's in kind of like a fantasy world, but it's amazingly diverse. There are people from all different places. There's usually 3 or 4 people from each place. But you can kind of fill in some things immediately just by going, hey, that guy looks like that. So he is one of these 3 people. If you don't
This one turned out nice.
think that way, if it would never occur to you to just judge people by their appearance, you won't find the information out, and because that very well may be the only hint you get. And the previous game, Papers, Please, was about kind of a nationalism and totalitarian country only letting people from their specific country in and keeping all the foreigners out. So there is definitely a theme that this developer is playing on. But yeah, TechRaptor loves Oberdin. I love Oberdin. I wish I owned it. I would be covering it right now, but instead I am not. Let's see. I think the other one we were doing was Priest. Actually, I just kind of need to get this done, and then that could be the end of today too. Although I do want to get the Tavern Bell done. Let's see. Moving on, we have a game on Steam called Project Hospital, which looks like maybe it's a 2-point hospital that's not based around silly diseases. There was, I heard in an interview, really good reasons why 2-Point Hospital used the silly diseases instead of real name diseases because they didn't want to bum people out while they're playing the game. So that might be a good argument for most people. I have a slight interest in medical procedure and such, so I think something like Project Hospital might actually interest me quite a bit, but I would definitely put this on the follow list and wait and see what other people have to say. Oh man, I didn't mean to pick that. I thought I was still shuffling cards. Alright, well. We have a game on Steam called Red Sun Real-Time Strategy. Doesn't look particularly interesting.
The sun has set for me.
I don't think I want to play too many real-time strategies, and this one's so like I don't recognize this developer, I don't recognize this publisher. I think I'm gonna just close this tab. I think I'm gonna be more picky for that type of game. Let's see this.
Job's done.
I'll double check and see if this developer's made something else, but nope. In fact, this developer apparently doesn't even exist anymore because it's taking me straight back to the main page of Steam. Interesting. GameIndustry.biz has an article. The ex-IGDA head, Kate Edwards, is now convinced game devs need unions. That's kind of surprising because IGDA, man, I keep grabbing the wrong cards. IGDA is the social networking group that people have on occasion claimed, well, you don't need a union, you have the IGDA, but they don't really negotiate for anything, and they're not a union at all. It's basically a false comparison argument. Arguably, I would also say that the IGDA is not helping the video game industry because it causes cronyism, and if there's cronyism on the associates level, as far as the developers and the employees, that attitude of cronyism will certainly move up even more when somebody gets promoted to the management level. I don't know if I really want to read this whole article though. Like, yeah, I think everybody is talking about the idea of starting a union. This person, Kate Edwards, would be the right person to start the legal process and start the fight, which it is just going to be a complete and total fight to create a union. Let's see. So yeah, her starting a union is a lot more realistic than some of the other people who've said that they were going to try. And it might be a bit of a staggered element too. It might be the case that a union gets started in the UK or Europe or in Canada, gains a lot of power for maybe decades or years, and then starts to push for a union in the United States. It may not be that something like that just starts in the US. Let's see. I don't know if I'm gonna win here. We have a game on Steam called Combined War Toys, which looks like a VR game that is just like a low effort play with polygonal military vehicles. Early access. What language is it? It says it's English only. I was getting the feeling that this would be a Chinese game. Oh yeah, all these Chinese words. Yeah, that's where I'm getting it. The idea that it's a Chinese game. Yeah, this is a almost certainly low effort Chinese game. In VR though, so that's kind of surprising.
Tortola, preserve us!
Job done.
Next we have a game on Steam called Loveless Cat, which is what? Looks like it's maybe a low effort platformer of sorts. It's so zoomed in with the camera. I don't know what it could really be. Yeah, it seems like it is just a simple platformer. Maybe the animation is a little bit better here than usual, but this definitely doesn't look like something that's actually worth even paying $1.19 for. 2 turns, then you take 2 turns. There you go. The question is, does this stay that way for the rest of the game, or is that only for the next 4 turns? I don't think I've ever gotten that far to know. Shuffle all minions into your opponent's deck. This would be a great card with the Mechathune. But then how would you destroy Mechathune? I don't know. TechRaptor has an article, Team Sonic Racing delayed, now releasing in May 2019. I'm not sure if people really care, but it could potentially have been a Mario Kart clone on the PC, so that's slightly interesting. I just found out that like Sonic Adventure 4 or Sonic the Hedgehog 4 came out episodically, so there's like an episode 1 and episode 2. That seems just totally insane. Let's go back to Warlock, I guess. Let's see. We have a game on Steam called Slavistan 2, which is clearly a troll game. Looks like a bad MS Paint RPG Maker game for $4 plus. Close that tab. Definitely. What do I want? Guess we'll take this and then take this. Turn. We have a game on Steam called Parcheesi Board Game Simulator. If the name wasn't so low effort, I'd consider keeping this. I always forget the name of Parcheesi. I confuse it with too many other games. Let's see. So, $16.99 for this. Pretty sure this developer is a troll developer.
What to do? What to do?
Yeah. He's a troll developer. And of course you could probably play Parcheesi cheaper, or for the same price at least, on Tabletop Simulator and play a bunch of other games too. So I'm closing that tab. Are they gonna play or are they not gonna play? They're taking this sweet time. Falling asleep over here and they're taking forever. Let's see. Let's go and play this. And attack, coin, health, attack in the turn. We have a game on Steam called UFO Combat 2000. This is a simple asteroids clone. We've seen lots and lots of games like this. Early access for 99 cents. I'm not even going to get down to the early access and price on some of these games going forward. Like, it doesn't matter what they cost if they're a low effort game. They're a low effort game. And the reason why it takes me longer and longer to cover the news is because I am looking at all of this information that is basically irrelevant.
Time runs out on me.
Take that, I guess, and play this, this, and this, and attack, and then the turn. Next we have a game called Vadine Bite Man, which looks like MS Paint graphics. Again, it's clearly a troll game again, so I'm just gonna close it. Yeah, I don't need to look at the developer, I don't need to look at the price, I don't need to scroll down and see if it's a early access game, if it's a troll game, if it's a low effort game. I can just close the tab. GameIndustry.biz has an article. EA maintains digital strength in Q2 as it gears up for Battlefield 5 and Anthem. That sounds a little inside baseball, but I guess the general story you take from that is EA is still making a lot of money through digital sales and transactions, microtransactions and such. Maybe just selling games digitally.
Time runs out on me.
GameIndustry.biz has another article. Shroud of the Avatar goes free to play. Portalium's episodic RPG makes major shifts, changes 4 months after a round of layoffs. I've never heard of this game, Shroud of the Avatar or Portalium, so this probably is actual news, but I'm not gonna report it. Let's play this.
It's tasty.
And do that, and that, and that, and then the turn. Let's see. Shroud of the Avatar launched in March after raising $12.3 million in crowdfunding towards its development. And this past June, Portalium seemed to be struggling with its game as the studio underwent a round of layoffs. At the time, Portalium said the layoffs were for the purpose of adjusting our team size to better match the current monthly revenue. This person is taking forever to play and they're not doing anything at all. Moving super slow. Okay. Talented Lifesteal. Or just play that.
Try it.
Keep on playing the chickens. We We have a game called Quixel Rush Christmas Helper, which I don't know what Quixel is, but it looks like it's a pretty boring, low effort game where there's nothing happening on the sides. Really, is that all you're doing? Is you're just positioning yourself in some kind of weird reverse Tetris? Okay, that doesn't look good. Close that tab. Game of Sutra has an article, Battlefield 5 will have premium currency but no pay-to-win progression system.
Anything you can do,
we'll see about that, I would guess. If anybody actually plays Battlefield 5 when it comes out. Or is it out already? I don't even know. Game of Sutra has an article, Get a Job, Remedy Entertainment is looking for an environment artist. That's in Espoo, Finland. Some of these companies, they list like a new job every week, which might, I guess, is cool, I suppose. Took damage. Play this.
Great idea.
And then get some help. Darn it.
Try it.
Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called SOS Survival. It's already at mixed reviews with 12 reviews. I assume this is any asset flip survival game. Wow, it looks pretty bad too. Like, this is really low quality 3D graphics.
Let us wreak
like,
havoc.
this is not even to the level of what an asset flip would look like. This is just a joke of a game for $10. Well, that's getting closed. I guess we'll talk about the price of some games, though. But I'm gonna try to not bother looking at the price of some of these awful games. TechCrafter has an article, 11-Bit Studios celebrates 4 years of survival with this War is Mine Stories, the last broadcast. So there's a new DLC.
So
Wait.
many possibilities.
I think it's a DLC. At least that's the idea I'm getting from it.
Great idea.
Yeah, it is DLC. I was thinking maybe it was just like a podcast or something to celebrate, but no, it is more DLC. I probably do want to play this War is Mine, but there certainly has been a lot of instances in which I have not gotten anywhere close to actually playing it. Alright. Let's go ahead and open this pack. Now, theoretically, I need to destroy one more. Like, let's just destroy one more minion and see if we can get a Priest and Warlock victory in one game and then move over to the European account. GameIndustry.biz has an article, Streamlabs says live streaming industry is worth $10.1 billion. I saw a video of a Twitch streamer talking about how much they made, and it was a lot of money. And this is a very popular Twitch streamer. 10.1 billion split amongst as many people that probably deserve it, as many people that are working hard to try to make some money, is probably not a lot of money. And they're definitely at YouTube's end at least is an issue of the top 1% of YouTube content creators getting 90% or more of all the ad revenue and income. Oh, and by the way, there is theoretically some thought out going around now that YouTube's automated system does cut the amount of income of people who cuss while streaming. That during a convention for YouTube advertisers, they showed a slide that literally showed up 2 videos, and it showed the clicks per million for the guy playing Fortnite on the left, which said no cussing, and then the clicks per million on the guys playing Fortnite on the right, and they literally said that it got cut in half. The only way that's not because of a free market that is happening. That is because they have implemented some system to demonetize or under-monetize viewers, people that cuss. I don't cuss that much, so it really wouldn't affect me too much, I don't think, but it's just another thing to be worried about and scared about. And how much is really too much in YouTube's mind? Is once too often? What words are cuss words? What words that I say does the algorithm think are cuss words? Because I imagine it's not too accurate. Right? So yeah, more trouble with YouTube for all YouTube content creators. It's non-stop.
In the light's name.
We have a game on Steam called The Man with a Dog. This is a dark screenshot survival asset flip if I ever saw one. Yep, early access, $5.99. Yeah, right. And then we have another game on Steam called John Condemned, which is another dark screenshot, probably asset flip game. Yeah, it looks like it is. Man, just quit doing this. Well, at least John Condemned is free, so the price is right.
I wonder.
Okay, we do this, play this, and we do this, and then we attack here. Next we have a game on Steam called Echo's World. It says it's an adventure game. Doesn't look like that to me though. Looks like it might be a simplistic... Oh, no, it's a puzzle game. It's a simplistic puzzle game that has way too many things on the side of its side of the screen. It's a combination of several small puzzle games for 79 cents. Yep. I don't see anything interesting there.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
Let's go ahead and play this. And heal this. Got a link here where Gematsu was checking my browser to make sure I wasn't DDoSing it. I wonder why that's the case. Maybe they're having trouble right now. Let's keep on playing over here. We have an article from Gematsu. Soy Kono Gyuto Dakishimete is coming to the PS4 and PS Vita February 21st in Japan. This looks like it's another visual novel. I've got way too many visual novels on my wish list, and I made a little bit of a breakthrough on that where I really had to come to the realization that I was trying to force basically equity onto the concept of visual novels. Like, I was definitely trying to have Western style visual novels in the wish list just because they were Western style visual novels, when in all honesty I should just play the best of the best visual novels. Those are the ones that should be on the wish list. If I'm gonna play any, it's still questionable if I'm actually gonna play any. But the idea of, oh, this one, it doesn't have the anime girl visual aesthetic, therefore this one gets special preferences, is not a good way to run things and do things. So yeah, there's definitely been some visual novels that have gotten removed since then, and there's a lot more that need to get removed. I don't know if I'm gonna win here. I'd like to, but I'm not sure it's gonna happen. Let's see. +2, +2. I mean, this one would be the only one that could actually attack. And it would do 6 damage, and then 7 and 8. So. Let's.
Your soul is mine.
Do that, I guess. We have a game on Steam called Pixel Robot Hunter, which looks like a extremely low effort game. Just awful graphics. So yeah. Like, it'd be nice if we ran into a few more good games on Steam today, but I don't know if we really are. We have a game called Last Wish that's not even English supported. It's another Chinese game, I'm sure. Yeah. More Chinese games coming to Steam.
Why do you call?
Let's see. Hit this. Hit this. Hit this. Play this. Play this. And in return. See, we have another game on Steam called Physical Exorcism. I'm wondering if maybe a plugin I have is stopping these videos from playing immediately, but I'm not sure. This is an RPG Maker game. The animation style for the forward characters doesn't look terrible, certainly, but it is just an RPG Maker game. So
Thank you.
I have no reason to put it on there. It's a Chinese game too, so I imagine it's not that good.
In the light's name.
Well, he managed to beat me.
Nicely done. How long can this go on?
You know, it would be nice to have a Hearthstone stream in the winter where I'm not half asleep too. I really do feel just kind of tired and a little low energy. That should destroy 25 minions, so that puts us in a pretty good position. So yeah, we're in a good position for Friday, except for we now need to do the Asian account, and so if we get really, really lucky, we will do the Asian account Tavern Brawl, and then get at least one of the daily quests done, or not, the 2 at least of the potential 3 daily quests done.
Taking you?
And we are already at the end of the month because the Asian account is a few hours earlier. Ooh, that looks cool. So we now get to start again at rank 23. Yay. Just click through all this garbage. Alright. I don't have a reroll, so kind of need 2 of these done. If I play Paladin, I should be good on all 3 edges though, so just play that, play that. We have a game on Steam called Damon 9. It's tagged with sexual content and horror. I don't know really what this is, so I'm gonna put it on the follow list. It looks weird, whatever it is. Weird enough that it might be good. Let's see. Draw a card and deal damage equal to its cost. Add a random dragon to your hand. I'm gonna take this, play this, and then end the turn. A lot of Halloween-esque games coming out right on Halloween, too. Really dumb planning by the developers. We have a game on Steam called Phantom Halls, which looks like it's a flat 2D game, but it's suffering from dark screenshot syndrome again. Just a lot of screen space there that's being taken up by nothing. Yeah, this doesn't look polished enough. I don't, although it's rated mostly positive. Alright, I'll be incredibly generous and put this on the follow list. But I think if I am going to continue to be incredibly generous, I am going to also have to, at one point, actually make the decision to have to look at the follow list like in 6 months increments instead of 12-month increments, because it's gonna get too big really fast. We have another game called A Flappy Bird in Real Life, which is clearly just a awful cheap Flappy Bird clone. I don't know why these developers, I guess they probably didn't have a clue when the sale was going to happen. I bet if I was to guess, Steam did not tell anybody a release date.
Reporting for duty.
We've got another game on Steam called Wizard Prison, which doesn't look that good. Looks like an RPG Maker style game, although maybe it's not made with actual RPG. Price is right at free, to be honest, but yeah, I don't really see anything here that's that good. If this was a small part of a larger Zelda game and it was widescreen, I'd be interested in it. One of the great things about looking at the wishlist and doing an individual cleanup footage, though, is that now I'm able to have a much better idea of what games and elements where they are and how many other games that are similar to those games already exist. So I don't really have to debase myself to use, that's a weird choice of words, but I guess it's as good as anything else. I don't have to lower my standards to play a really awful game that's a Zelda clone. There are some good Zelda clone games already on the wish list. And it's not really like I have an infinite amount of time anyways. So I should play the best of the best. I'm not looking to play bad games on Steam just to make YouTube footage.
Converting stored energy. Who you want me killed?
We have another game on Steam called The Witch's House MV, which is an RPG maker with an RPG Maker MV version. I don't know why they're putting MV in the name, though, as if that means anything. $13.49. No, thank you. And see, I'm not going to be suckered by the fact that this game is positive with a few people. There clearly are people out there that like RPG Maker games. I'm just not going to be one of them. I don't think, at least. Let's see. Adapt my silver hand recruits. I don't even have any silver hand recruits.
Reporting for duty. Job's done.
That's all I can do. Next we have a game on Steam called Photo Finish. What kind of game is this? Looks like a top shoot 'em up is, I guess, the phrase they call them. Driving forward shooting, going upward shooting game, or maybe it's a racing game? It's tagged racing. That would make more sense by the name. Well, the graphics look bad, whatever it is, so I'm not gonna put it on the file list. Next we have a game called Cross X Carrot. Again, looks like a low effort platforming game. Doesn't look very interesting at all. It's free, at least. That's something to be happy about. It's being published by AGM Playism, which publishes a weird mix of things.
The light dims, but we fight.
It's time for a little blood. Converting stored energy. Who you want
Play
me killed?
this, and then give it this more health. Play this, and then
I will enjoy watching you die.
I guess we attack here. Here.
Reporting for duty.
And do that. See, TechRaptor has an article. Bubsy Paws of Fire proves that bobcats have 9 lives in 2019. So they're making another Bubsy game, but TechRaptor points out, and I was just about to point out the same thing, that TechRaptor reviewed the last Bubsy game, Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back, as a 2 out of 10 game. One of the worst games in probably the past decade, if not past few decades. Bubsy is not really a character that I think you can bring back unless you're going to put a lot of effort into it and make it a very good modern platforming game that makes sense. And that's certainly not what they did. Right, this. This.
Reporting for duty.
And this.
Photonic works.
That.
Who you want me kill? Who you want me kill?
Tech Raptor has another article. Blaze Blue Central Fiction Special Edition coming to Western Switches next year. So, a Blaze Blue game is coming to Switch. Maybe it's coming to PC. There are several Blaze Blues already on PC. So I wouldn't. So either it already is on PC or it might come, but this story is certainly not implying that that's the case. And I'm looking at the trailer just to make sure it is the same Blaze Blue fighting game that series that I recognize. In a funny way, Blaze Blue is probably the better anime character fighting game compared to some other anime character fighting games that might catch my attention a little bit more. For instance, like SNK Tag Team Heroines, probably a little bit more interesting of a game because it's just all anime girls and it's simpler. But there definitely is an argument to be made that Blaze Blue might be the right one to play. Although, what really is the difference between playing Blaze Blue and DOA, other than the fact that DOA is 3D and Blaze Blue is more 2D? Moving on, Gematsu has an article. Kirigarashi Rinai for PS4 and PS Vita launches February 21st in Japan. This is another visual novel. Tech Raptor has an article. God Eater 3 comes west early February in English and Japanese. So we now have a rough... Oh, it's February 8th, 2019. So when God Eater 3 is coming out. So, assuming that's good, that might be the game to play as far as a Japanese kind of Monster Hunter style game, since Monster Hunter World was not treated very well on Steam.
What you want?
I just recently looked at the reviews and people are not happy with it. How it was handled.
Reporting for duty.
Let's see. Tech Raptor has an article. Take to the Skies and DreamWorks Dragons Dawn of New Riders, which is coming in 2019. So the Dragon series, which I would have thought would have been dead by now, is still making some money. It's coming out, they think, in February 2019. Are they gonna play or are they gonna give up? See if they could do like a massive amount of damage to them, to me, and then eye for eye happened.
Flesh fails. Try crystal.
5 damage. Okay, it's doing like damage to everybody. Do this, and that, I guess.
For justice.
Attack here. And attack here. And do that. So if this guy attacks, it'll do eye for an eye and I'll win. We have a game on Steam called The One We Found, which looks like a low effort horror game if I was to guess. Let's watch some gameplay trailer just to be certain. that that's what this is. A lot of dark screenshot syndrome happening. I might be dismissing this game a little bit early, prematurely, but I don't think so. I think we were kind of fine to leave it in that same case. The weird thing is, as far as like Outlast and Amnesia, I think both of those games could be improved quite a bit. So if somebody was to make a better Outlast or Amnesia and release it, it would be helpful to me, I suppose, if that happened. That way I don't, because then I could say, well, there's this better game that's way better than Amnesia that everybody should be playing, and I should cover.
For justice.
Yeah, it seems like you have a gun in this game, the one we found.
This time.
So I'll leave it on the follow list. Next, there's a game called Tactics and Strategy Masters Princess of the Holy Land, and it's tagged with sexual content, so I don't know if I want to show it. Yeah, it's pretty explicit screenshots for what looks like a dungeon crawler RPG. It doesn't look that good. It's early access for $7.19. I don't think I really need to worry about putting that on the follow list either. Let's come back here. So I need to play more Paladin cards and get like more Paladin victories, and then I think we can wrap up this stream. Again, we didn't really break it up into episodes, and that's fine. Eventually that would be a problem, but that I could probably go an entire year of doing just 2-hour episodes. Disenchant this and that, and we could disenchant this for like 50 dust, which I think is worth doing. So with any luck, this might be the last game we play. Let's see. Gamatsu Bubsy's Paws on Fire, announced for PS4, Switch, and PC, developed by Choice Provisions. This is the same Bubsy announcement we already covered, but they do have some video. You can see what the game looks like. And it still looks like it's mostly a platformer farming game. But maybe they learned their lesson and it is actually somehow better. TechRaptor has an article, Nintendo Switch surpasses GameCube sales at 22 million, keeps pace with Wii sales. There's more information as far as numbers there that you could read the article for if you're interested.
Converting stored energy.
That. Get in turn. We have a game on Steam called Fiend. A lot of dark screenshot syndrome. Take note that this is 3D. Probably an asset flip content, and yet you've got a very anime flat to the thumbnail. That's a red flag, certainly. Let's see what the gameplay looks like. Adventure, indie, horror, psychological horror. And they're really not showing a lot here. It's just a standard wander around the place, see some spooky things.
Converting stored energy. Move quickly. Photonic bursts.
Yep, this game does not need to go onto the fault list, so we'll move on. Next we have a game on Steam called Energy Girl, where English is not even supported. It's just a Chinese RPG Maker game of sorts. Another game that won't make it to the fault list. Let's see. This.
Reporting for duty.
And this.
Reporting for duty.
I actually don't have that many more games to talk about because I didn't open any more tabs. So I'll still have a lot to talk about on Friday though.
In the
May have to make a special effort to stream longer on Friday. We have a game on Steam called The Lift, which again looks like an asset flip game. I don't know why all these horror games would want to come out on Halloween. Why not a week earlier? Why not October 1st? I can't even see what this game is, and there's like video. What are you even doing? It's not showing anything. It's just getting dark. Yep, I'm not gonna play that. Next we have Call of Cthulhu, which is already on my fall list because I just ran into it while cleaning up my wish list. And so this might actually be a really good game, but there is always this risk of Cthulhu Lovecraftian games not being that good. Game developers certainly seem to be obsessed with the Cthulhu story, but that doesn't always translate. It almost never translates into the game being good. I'll double check that Call of Cthulhu is on my follow list, but I'm almost 100% sure it is.
Stop copying me!
Next we have a game on Steam called Save the Cookie, which is a low effort MS Paint looking game. Mobile port possibly for 99 cents. So yeah, we'll close that tab. Next we have a game called Best of Fight, which is a stickman fighting game. Smash Brothers clone. There's no reason why this needs to go to the follow list.
The light protects me.
That should lose in the next couple of turns, but hopefully I've played enough Paladin cards. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called Silver Child, which again is a just bad looking MS Paint looking game. I know right now I don't have it zoomed in as much as I usually do, so I would be looking at these pictures a little bit closer, but I seriously doubt if I zoomed this box bigger it would all of a sudden look good, particularly this game. I just think Halloween as a week and a day to release games is not the week that people really would be releasing good games. Gamatsu has an article, Yokai Watch 3 launches December 7th in Europe. I'm not sure it's gonna come out 2 months before North America. Interesting. So North America is getting Yokai Watch 3 really, really late, which is slightly surprising. I need to play like 10 more Paladin cards, so let's play one more game, and then I think I'd be done for today. I don't think I'll have to play anything off screen. I don't think Yokai Watch is super popular in North America. Anyways, it's coming out February 8th on the Switch and well, 3DS. Actually, not the Switch. You gotta be careful there. And basically nothing else. We have a game on Steam called Right Ward, which
None can escape my fury.
is
I will fight with honor.
simulator game for typing. Like a typing game that looks incredibly simplistic and low effort. 54 cents right now. Yep, I'm not going to play that. Probably not going to play Zombie Cubes either. Another just awful looking game. I guess this was the bundle of the really awful looking games that they decided to approve. Like, I'm working from this theory that seems to be accurate, that Steam is approving bunches of games based on different things that would have delayed the release of it. So one day it seems like they'll release a lot of sex games onto their service, and then you won't see any sex games for like another week, and then the day after that a bunch of like really awful looking games like this will come out, and then the day after that it will be maybe visual novels specifically, or maybe it will be hidden object games. I don't even think they really care about hidden object games. But yeah, it definitely seems like they're sorting the games by what they look like. Either that, or there's considerably fewer people than it seems publishing games to Steam, and it's just like the same person with 25 separate accounts all putting out the same style of games on the same days. But there might also be a regional reason for this. If most of the anime games are coming from Japan, which one would assume is true, it might be a case that games get released on a specific day of the week in Japan, whereas I know for a fact games get released at least in retail stores on, I think, Thursdays. So in the West, in the United States, so it's very possible that might be the factor, and that there isn't actually a system happening behind well, inside of Steam. I can't even think of the thing I'm trying to say. Alright, so if I play this,
Converting stored energy.
and then do this,
Deploying countermeasures.
oops, forgot to attack. We have a game on Steam called Atomic Rancher. Surprisingly, even though this looks pretty bad, this is one of the best games we've seen today. It still looks like an RPG Maker game though, so I'm not going to put it on the wish list. And with that, I still haven't listened to Susan Wojcicki's October 2018 Creator Letter YouTube video. We're at the Humble Bundle. I don't believe that there would be a new Humble Bundle that makes sense for PC players. There is a THQ Nordic PlayStation bundle, but that would be getting digital codes for the PlayStation game to play on the PlayStation, which doesn't help me anymore. Well, and then the WB bundle still exists. The Day of the Devs bundle still exists. The RPG Maker bundle still exists. And that's kind of it. Yep.
Quickly.
I fight.
So then that puts me back to my Twitter feed, and I could stream down this point and scroll down and open a bunch of the what's on Steam listings. But kind of don't think I need to. Seriously, I still didn't play enough Paladin cards. Alright, one more game. I'm going to scroll down my Twitter feed as we're doing this. Let's see. Zynga investing in Harry Potter games, Game of Thrones titles. Both licensed games will be casual mobile experiences and developed at the company's US studios. The head of Minecraft on the role of collaborative gaming was a story printed by Phil Spencer of Xbox.
I will fight with honor.
Let's see, that's not really a story I'm gonna read. Fortnite downloaded onto nearly half of all Switch consoles. It might as well come by default. Let's see. There's a game called Coffee Biz. Dead Space 2 episode 23 aired with on Twitter with a thumbnail. So some of my videos I think are fixing themselves. Whatever that bug on YouTube was. But I think there still probably will be some that have messed up thumbnails for a while. And I really don't want to have to do any scheduling today. I'm too sleepy. I just screwed up, make mistakes. I was definitely covering one video where I was doing the end of year cleanup, and I was making mistakes and putting games in the wrong column. So it was a game that I wanted to put on like the follow list, and I was instead putting it in the column to put it at the top of the wish list. I caught a lot of them, but there definitely could be some slight mistakes. Also, it kind of doesn't matter. I'm still gonna have to do some real thought process about how I rank the games on the wish list, because in the middle of trying to add games to the top of the wish list, I'm also adding just brand new games left and right, and those aren't high priority games, but they're getting put right in between other high games that are high priority. So I'm really just gonna have to go through the entire wish list and say, this I want at the top, this is what I want at the top. And so my efforts to have a column that says put it at the top list of the wish list was kind of ridiculous, because it's just not gonna happen. See, I'm scrolling down my Twitter feed right now, and I don't know if there really is any more games, which is probably a good thing. Puts me in a good position. Yeah, I'm seeing repeat tweets, but what often happens on Twitter, for me at least, is I'll get halfway down the feed, it will start loading more things for the feed, and when it starts loading the new feed, stuff, that's
I
when
want
things,
you, and you, and you.
new things start showing up. Let's see.
To battle!
Keep on playing.
I fight.
Reporting for duty.
Job's done.
Please tell me I've played 10 Paladin cards. I guess after this game, even if I haven't played 10 Paladin cards, I probably will just end the recording and do it off screen. Yeah, The Walking Dead: A New Frontier number 12 also aired on my channel with the thumbnail. And it's killing my fingers, but Hearthstone Puzzle Lab Mirror Astronomer Arwen number 7 didn't air with the thumbnail. I probably scheduled that before. My finger is killing me. I'm scrolling down too much, using the mouse too much. I really need a good month of just not doing anything with my hand whatsoever. Like, but you really don't get that as a choice. Well, stupidly, I still didn't play enough Paladin cards, but it doesn't matter. We've got it done. Yeah, I think I've got everything done, and I think we're set just fine for Friday. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.